right, he's a piece of work. Hey there, how's it going? It's the Adventurleighs. So, we are headed to Washington, D.C., but we have a hotel where for the night?
Somewhere south of Chicago, as close to Indiana as we could without actually getting into Indiana. So
yeah, so our plan tomorrow is we are actually going to go into Indianapolis, Indiana. And why is that, Darren?
Well, if things go right, we want to tour the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time for that. And yeah, we've got something pretty cool down there I want to show you guys.
All right, so we're very excited. It's a little dreary right now, which is okay for traveling.
Good morning. It's the next day. We're getting ready to check out of our room. It's a nice room. I spent a little bit more than I planned to, but all the other places I called were not answering their phones. So I got a busy signal and a dial tone, and I let them ring for a little while, and nobody would pick up. So this one came in at a little over $200 for the night, which was about $50-$60 more than I wanted to spend, but it is what it is. But yeah, so we're getting ready to head out. We've got a lot of driving to do today.
Yes, we do.
So,
he has a lot of driving. No, I'm kidding. I will drive if he wants me to.
I have a lot of driving. Yeah. Anyway, you can show them the room a little bit.
All right, so this is our room. Yeah, I mean, it's like actually a full suite kind of a room. I mean, actually, you would probably stay here, like, permanently. You know, you could, you know, if you were, like, working in the area. So, yeah, it was a little bit more than we'd want to spend. I mean, it was nice. It's a Marriott, Marriott Suites. Marriott Belvoir is what it's called. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's definitely, I had to kill a bug, which, whatever, it's fine. So, yeah, here you are.
You didn't wake me up in the middle of the night to kill the bug?
Well, it was by the shower. It was like one of those little fisher things. So, so just a baby one, but that's okay. We lived and learned, and here we are. So, a traffic jam in the middle of Indiana. Wonder what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what this is all about. We're like 60 miles north of Indianapolis, in middle of nowhere, and traffic is just crawling.
Yeah. Okay, that is why we have a stall, why we have probably drivers not paying attention. So that is why we are in a traffic jam in Indiana, because of cops. Hey there, we are really close to Indianapolis. It has been a pretty non-eventful drive through Indiana, but you know what? It's a flyover state. And it's one of the states that we need because it produces a lot of the corn and all of the other things that we need to run the United States of America. So we need these flyover states. And if you have ever heard Jason Aldean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's been an eventful drive. Darren's been having to definitely keep his eye on the road. Some traffic accidents we had to handle, and traffic is a little crazy. There's some road constructions as usual. Those orange cones popped up overnight right out of the ground, so we've been dealing so we've been dealing with that. But so we will be we're definitely excited.
We made it. So we are at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Do not follow Google. If you're coming in from the north, Google did not do me any favors here. She brought me in the back way, so we actually had to do a U-turn over there somewhere and drive all the way back around the track, and it was about a 2-mile detour. So yeah, if you're coming in from the north, Google's not it. Anyway, we made it. The cool thing about the museum here right away is that it's actually inside the track grounds. So we drove underneath the track to get in here. So that's pretty cool.
So we actually went under there where that car is coming out. So that's the raceway is right there, and the track is behind that. So we had to drive underneath the track to get here.
Ray Haroon won the event's first running in 1911 at an average speed of 74.6 miles per hour. The day was a huge success, and the greatest spectacle in racing was born. We enter the track between turns 1 and 2 onto one of our short chutes. These two short straightaways are located at the north and south ends of the Speedway and are each 1/8 of a mile in length. Contrary to its oval designation, the Speedway is rectangular with 4 turns, each 1/4 of a mile in length from entrance to exit. The two main straightaways are 5/8 of a mile and located on the Speedway's east and west sides. This all adds up to 2.5 miles total track length. You're likely to start feeling the effects of our banking as we enter turn 2. Each turn is banked 9 degrees in 12 minutes. Despite the shallow banking, Indy cars will carry speeds over 230 miles an hour through our turns. On the left, you will see some of our viewing mounts. These are throughout the track's infield and are used by general admission ticket holders. Up on your right are the Turn 2 suites installed in 1973. These suites offer VIP guests and sponsors a thrilling close-up vantage point. We are now approaching the backstraight. Except for the track's current asphalt surface, the Speedway's dimensions and layout are the same as in 1909. And if you're curious about what happened to all those bricks, most are just a few feet beneath us, buried under layers of asphalt. If you look out both sides of our bus, you will also notice a golf course here. Constructed in 1929, the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course has seen many different iterations, culminating in a 1992 redesign by legendary golf course designer Pete Dye. The current layout has 4 holes inside the track and 14 outside the backstretch to your right. If Indy cars were on the backstretch with us right now, you would see them streaming by at over 243 miles per hour, or just over 390 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the Indy cars will cover the length of a football field in less than 9/10 of a second. These high speeds, coupled with the aerodynamics of the Indy cars, allow them to lap this 2.5-mile track in less than 39 seconds, with modern average lap speeds peaking at over 235 miles per hour. In its over a century of existence, the Speedway has hosted various racing events. The first ever race held here was a gas-filled balloon race before the track was even finished. Since then, Formula One, NASCAR, MotoGP motorcycles, and IMSA sports cars have all held events here. In 1910, the track was used for Indiana's first ever air show, with the Wright brothers setting a new world altitude record of 4,384 feet. In 2016, the Red Bull Air Race competed at the Speedway, flying between inflatable pylons set up in the infield. The newest major addition to our facility is on your left, a quarter-mile dirt track. It was built for USAC's BC39 midget car race, named in honor of late IndyCar driver and USAC champion Brian Clausen. It is now a premier USAC event with over 100 entrants in its inaugural year. As we travel through turn 3, you will notice the SAFER barrier along the walls on either side of the track. SAFER stands for Steel and Foam Energy Reduction. In a joint program with IMS and researchers at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, the new barriers were installed in 2002. The SAFER barrier has been responsible for saving many drivers from severe injury and is now found at many major racing facilities worldwide. World War I flying ace and Medal of Honor winner Eddie Rickenbacker purchased the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1927. He had a personal connection with the track, as he had competed here as a racing driver before he went overseas. His skillful management guided the track throughout the Great Depression with no halt in racing. If you look out the left side of the bus, portions of the Speedway's road course will come into sight. Though original racetrack renderings for the Speedway included an interior road course, it would take until the turn of the 21st century for it to be finally installed. The road course was initially constructed for Formula One racing and now measures 2.439 miles in length with 14 turns. No events were held at the Speedway from 1917 to 1918 and 1942 to 1945, due to the First and Second World Wars. As opposed to World War I, where the track was used as an aviation repair and refueling depot, the track was closed entirely during World War II, and by 1945, the dilapidated facility was slated to be sold to make way for a housing development. That was until, at the urging of three-time Indy 500 winner Wilbur Shaw, Indiana businessman Tony Holman stepped in at the last minute and purchased the track for $750,000. Under Holman George's leadership, the Speedway prospered and became the worldwide icon known today. In January 2020, Indy 500 winning team owner and entrepreneur Roger Penske purchased the Speedway in NTT IndyCar Series. We are now approaching the front straight. On race day, this is the view the IndyCar drivers will have as they come down to the green flag at the start of the race. The Indianapolis 500 begins with what is known as a rolling start, with all 33 cars accelerating in their traditional 11 rows of 3 cars each toward the start-finish line. By the time they cross the famed Yard of Bricks, the field will already be well over 200 miles per hour, making the start of the Indianapolis 500 amongst the fastest in the world. You will notice a wall separating the racing surface from the pit lane. Originally, this was constructed in 1957 and may have been the first of its kind anywhere in the world. It offers a safe place for cars to receive service while separated from the high-speed action on track. In the early days of the 500, pit stops could last several minutes, often with the relief driver taking over for the exhausted original. Today, IndyCar crews can change 4 tires and fuel a car in less than 8 seconds. On the left is Victory Podium, and adjacent to it is the Pagoda. This iconic structure has 10 floors and is equivalent in height to a 13-story building. It is the home of timing and scoring, master control, media broadcast, and private suites. There has been a building like this at this location since 1913. Running underneath the Pagoda and onto the racing surface is a link to the past, the Yard of Bricks. Every brick you see dates to the original surface in 1909. The front straight was still predominantly brick until October of 1961, when they were paved over with the exception of a 3-foot narrow strip.
Alonso Jr. has the lead. One more turn to go. Here they come. Coming to the finish line. Bob Jenkins, who's going to win it?
The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second. Perhaps the closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
Bob Jenkins called it right. It was the closest finish in Indy 500 history, as Al Unser Jr. held up a charging Scott Goodyear by 43 one-thousandths of a second at the finish of the 1992 race. In other words, winning and losing were less than the blink of a human eye. A unique victory tradition involving the bricks has developed. After winning the 3rd running in 1996 of NASCAR's Brickyard 400, Dale Jarrett and his crew made their way to the Yard of Bricks, knelt, and kissed the bricks to celebrate their victory. This tradition is now performed by winners of all major events at the Speedway.
Okay,
The garages located directly behind the pit lane were constructed in 2000 for Formula One and are now used by NASCAR during the Brickyard weekend. The Speedway has seen many celebrities through its gates, from Hollywood screen legends like Clark Gable, Shirley MacLaine, Paul Newman, and James Garner, to modern-day well-knowns like Lady Gaga, Chris Hemsworth, Matt Damon, Christian Bale, and Adam Driver. You never know who you might run into within the 2.5-mile confine. We are now entering Turn 1, known worldwide as the most challenging turn in all of motorsports. When the green flag flies, 33 cars, all tightly packed and traveling at over 220 miles an hour, will try to negotiate this narrow turn. To the left, just behind turns 13 and 14 of our road course, you can see one of the Speedway's massive video boards. These can be found throughout the facility and ensure that there isn't a bad seat in the house, no matter where you are. Though you shouldn't worry about being bored during the race. After all, once your favorite driver passes in front of you, you only have to wait 38 seconds to see them again. Now, we are back to where we started. Congratulations. You've completed a lap of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. to average.
Oh, very large elevator going down.
Talk about this car a little bit. This is the very first winner of the Indianapolis 500. It was driven by Ray Haroon. My mom is a Haroon. I believe Ray was her grandfather's cousin. So yeah, that's kind of cool to be standing next to something that has a little bit of, I got a little bit of lineage to. I'm kind of down another line, but yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
I think so too. Okay, look at this car. It's got a rear view mirror. Darren, tell us about the rear view mirror.
So Ray was an automotive, obviously a racer and engineer, and one of the things as he developed and designed this race car with Marmon was that rear view mirror. Is the first time that was ever used. I believe it's something they invented. And the significance of that is that you eliminate a backwards facing mechanic in your race car. So it streamlines the car, gets a lot of weight off the car. What they used to do is have a mechanic facing backwards telling everybody what was going on behind the car, telling the driver. And so everybody laughed at him when he proposed this and put it on the car. He was, I believe, laughed at quite heavily, but then he went and won the race. And so now all cars today have these. And I cannot imagine driving a car without a rear view mirror, to be honest with you.
I can't either. I'm terrible enough as it is.
So I just want to do a little bit more of a formal voiceover about this car. It's very hard when you're being filmed live to focus and remember everything you want to talk about if you're not used to being on the camera. So I apologize for that. So the Marmon Wasp was built by the Indianapolis-based Nordyke and Marmon Passenger Car Company, and it was unlike any other car in the inaugural Indianapolis 500. It was nicknamed the Wasp for its yellow paint and distinctive tail. It featured an experimental six-cylinder engine developed by Ray Haroon and Louis Schwitzer. The single-seater's aerodynamic profile omitted the customary riding mechanic. To appease the critics who deemed that unsafe, driver and engineer Haroon added the first documented rear-view mirror. So they are credited with inventing the rear-view mirror for these cars, and this was the first use of it. Haroon maintained a steady average of 75 miles an hour throughout the race, and that strategy helped him become the very first winner of the 500. It was really cool to see this car in person, knowing that I've got some relation to it, albeit a little bit, down another line, but it's just kind of cool to be able to see something like this. Also, I did not know that there's a National Historic Register of Vehicles, and this is vehicle number 11 on that register. So that was kind of cool. What I really find fascinating about this car and all these older cars like this is how the only thing inside the car basically is the driver and the motor. Like everything else is outside the cars. If you look, you can see all the steering linkages up front, and you can see all the suspension springs and everything are outside the car. And I just find that really, really cool and fascinating to look at, that all that stuff is outside the car so they could keep the body of the car as small as possible. So this is the 1912 Indianapolis winner. So this would have been the second car to ever win the race. And it was driven by Joe Dawson. And what you'll see with this car is that it has the two seats. So this would have the mechanic sitting next to the driver. And he had several jobs. One of them was to tell the driver what was going on behind the car. But secondly, if you look at the interior, and it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see a bunch of oilers and canisters and stuff there. It was his job to pay attention to the gauges and keep gas and oil going, because nothing in this car was pressurized. None of the fuel systems or oil systems were pressurized. So, I mean, these guys really had a chore to do driving these cars. It literally took two operators to drive this car. So you can see by streamlining all that stuff and getting it down to one operator, you can see how the other cars were able to get things done faster. And so I forget which car this was. I should have taken a picture of the plaque. But anyway, what I want you to notice about the interior of this one is you'll see the drive shaft running from the back of the transmission, and it runs right alongside the driver's seat. So these guys sat, and this wasn't the only car I saw like this. These guys sat literally with those drive shafts running right through the car. So this was some dangerous stuff, man. In 1909, Frank Wheeler and George Shebler of the Wheeler-Shebler Carburetor Company commissioned an 8-foot-tall trophy from Tiffany & Company for the Speedway's first automotive competition. Multiple accidents forced the 300-mile race to end early, and the trophy was not awarded. Ray Haroon won a scaled-back 200-mile race the next year, becoming the trophy's first recipient. Harley Hart's was its last winner in 1932.
Okay, one thing I did want to add to this video is that the actual stands of the racetrack are really large, and it can hold a lot of people. In fact, it can hold up to 300,000 people in the seats. Plus, they figure there's another 350,000 to 400,000 at any given game or any given race day. So that's a lot of people. I mean, if you think about it, with us living at Lambeau Field, you know, Lambeau Field, which is the home of the Green Bay Packers, can actually hold 90,000 people in the stands, plus maybe about another 25 to 30 up in the suite seats. No, I wouldn't even say that. Hey there, we are at the Woods / Speedway Pub and Grill. We were recommended by one of our YouTube channel followers, so we are here to check it out, so we'll see.
Yeah, so thank you for the recommendation. So how is it?
Hey, you know I am. It was really good.
What'd you get?
I got the beer battered cod with the pub fries, and they have their own homemade tartar sauce. And then we got the Bavarian pretzel with the beer cheese, and that was really, really good. I'm like on senses overload.
Yep, and I got the chicken street tacos, which are amazing. They're nice and spicy. I don't know if it's buffalo sauce or what, but it's very, very good. And these are going to fill me up for the night. So, excellent recommendation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, well, we just finished lunch / dinner. That's going to be our dinner. It's pretty late in the day. Was an amazing recommendation. Thank you so much. We're going to get ready to hit the road. We've got a lot of miles to put on yet. We're shooting for hopefully the middle of Ohio tonight. But we hope you've enjoyed our little pit stop here in Indianapolis. We sure enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, Indianapolis was a lot of fun. Honestly, the people were really, really nice. Everywhere we went, I don't know if you noticed that. Everywhere we went, everybody was really nice. And that's, you know, very nice. And the museum was top notch. We were asking questions, and the wonderful people at the museum were just a lot of fun. And it's a really great area to stop.
Yeah. So, we'll see you guys later.
See you later.